What is good, Ecamm fam? Brandon Washington here, and we are back for part 2 of the Launchpad. You know what, Ecamm fam? I'm so happy to see so many people who've been just rocking with the show for so long. It has been so much fun hanging out with you guys every single week. If you guys weren't here for the first part of the show, we just spent it over on my channel, the Creative Fam live channel, linked in the description. And we were talking about sort of our goals and processes going into next year. And we talked a little bit about why it's so important to start that process right now. It's so exciting now that we're on Ecamm's side because there are so many things that we've learned over the course of the last 8 weeks on this show, getting a chance to hang out with other creators, learn from them, figure out how we can grow, how we can make things better. And I will tell you guys, like, full transparency, it's very easy to look at, a creator and think they got it all figured out. Y'all, I can tell you, I've talked to the best of the best. We all figuring it out. So at any point throughout your journey, if you're starting to feel like, I don't know, maybe I should wait until I got it figured out, I'll tell you, even the best creators in the world are still figuring it out. They're always trying to get a little bit better every single week. And with each upload, the goal is just to get 1% better. And that's something that I've been preaching since I started working with Ecamm. Is that every single week, my goal is to just get 1% better. Make each show, each video, each piece of content just a tad bit better. Tonight, we're going to make this content a lot better because we're going to be giving away a Shure microphone at the end of the episode. Now, you do have to be here live to receive it. I'm going to announce the winner live, and then I'm going to tell you exactly how to reach out and be able to claim your prize. Doc, text me and tell me how they claim their prize. No, but we are going to talk to you guys about how you can claim it. But every single time you show up, you want to try to get a little bit better. And here's the thing. Here's one of the reasons why I am so big about consistency. A lot of people talk about like a work-life balance, and like I do believe that you need that. Some people believe in like hustle culture being a bad thing, but I don't think that means you shouldn't try. I think that what that means is that you need to figure out how to be as consistent as you possibly can be. I'm not talking about burning yourself out or driving yourself into the dirt, but what I'm saying is only through consistency can you figure out how to get better. Because let's say I only went live once a year. By the time I went live once and then I did it again a year later, I will have forgot all the things I learned from the last time I went live, and I'd have nothing to be able to apply to the next one. So by being able to post consistently, show up consistently, and work consistently, it allows you to learn on top of what you're already doing and be able to apply those things. And to me, that's the actual secret. This last 7 weeks, 8 weeks that we've been doing this show, I've obviously got a chance to talk to YC, I talked to Millie, I talked to Tyrese, I talked to Doc, talked with Jarrell. Like, I talked with all these amazing people week over week. Jaden was on here and absolutely crushed it. But when you sit down and you talk with all these amazing creators, one thing that you quickly realize is that what makes them all so gifted is the fact that they didn't just learn stuff, but they applied their learnings. And it was through the implementation of the things that they learned is when they saw their next big breakthrough. And the only way they can do that is by showing up consistently. And when you don't know what else to do, start with just figuring out how to be consistent. And I can tell you guys that's where I'm at. I haven't grown on Instagram in like years. I was stuck at 26,000 followers on Instagram, wasn't moving at all. So then I said, I don't know what to do, but I can at least start posting consistently. So I just started posting every single day, one post, majority of them shot on my iPhone. And the way I've already seen my account grow by almost 2,000 new followers, and I still don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I just know that I'm showing up consistently. And so before we get into any of the tips, any of the things that we're doing going forward, I wanted to start this show off by talking about how it's so important for you to show up consistently so that way you can start to see that growth. But, all right, I'm super excited about tonight's episode because I think there's so much that we can take from what we've learned over the last few weeks and start to apply that. But I want to start off in the chat. I would love to hear where you guys or what type of content you guys are currently creating. What are your industries? Now, if you're not currently creating social media content, or maybe you are just working as a freelance videographer, you're coming over from the Creative Fam, go ahead and throw that in the chat. I'd love to know what you guys are currently doing, what you're currently working on. And while you guys do that, I want to go ahead and read off and shout out some of the amazing people who made the jump over with us. We got John over here. We got Mike. He says, best part of his week. Bro, much love. Appreciate hanging out with you. Danny's over here. Doc says he showed up hands-free. Central Entertainment in here. Next session, Cannon Gang. And bro, Cannon Gang is so loud. Y'all are so loud. Y'all are so loud. ABC, what's up, bro? M Wash in the building. Oh my God, y'all crazy. Who else we got in here? Andy, what's up, brother? Good to see you in here. Sertolo? I don't know how you say that. But what's good? Good to see you in here. Cognition in here as well. So excited to see everybody in here hanging out with us tonight. We got a fun one. Sig in here. Good to see you. We got a fun one in store tonight. He says, how do I send my address so you know where to send the mic? All right, so for those of you guys who didn't see the first part of the show, let's make it very clear on how you actually go about winning tonight. So if you want an opportunity to win the microphone, one of the things that you have to do is you do have to be in the chat. So I'm going to be going into the chat towards the end of the show. We'll pick out our lucky winner, and it's all going to be based around your engagement, finding somebody in the chat who's, who I think who's going to, because the truth is that we've talked a lot about the microphone. I actually shared a reel about it, unconnected, ironically, that this is the microphone that we use every single Friday. And I absolutely love these microphones. I love the Shure microphones. We use it every Friday for the Uncensored show. And then, of course, we have the Doc Pop on here. That's the little red covering that you see on here. But we're so excited that Shure was willing to give away one of those tonight. So we are definitely going to be giving away that microphone. So excited for one of y'all to get a chance to win a microphone tonight. And yeah, we'll definitely send that out. Andy said, Doc, you can't win. Well, he shouldn't be able to win, especially because he already told y'all this is his house. Somebody said, is this the channel Brandon was talking about? And Doc was real quick to say, yeah, this is his house. This is Doc's house. He not playing no games. He wants you to know where you're at. Shout out Bray, see you in there. 24-hour boss, it's good to see you in here as well. Now, Neil says, can't afford a Shure. Well, tonight you could win one, but the nice thing about Shure is that they have microphones of all different price points. So you get a chance to be able to pick out which microphone you want, but they have so many different microphones, all at different price points. And funny enough, right now they're actually doing a sale across a lot of their microphones. So a lot of their microphones are on sale. So if you are interested in picking up a microphone, you can definitely check it out. But tonight, hopefully, you may get a chance to actually win one. All right, so let's start talking a little bit about sort of our content plans for next year. I mentioned this at the tail end of the show over on the Creative Fam Live channel, but when it comes to being a creator this year, one thing that I have been pushing all of my friends, and honestly, I look at you guys as just like my friends as well, and so because I have personally seen this just in the last month alone. I'm not even kidding. When it comes to being a full-time, whatever you are, if you're a videographer, if you're a wedding videographer, or maybe you have another full-time job, the ability to do content on the side is such a game changer. And what I have been learning, especially through talking through a lot of these creators over the course of this show, is that if you can structure your content creation process, you can make it so much easier on yourself. You can post consistently and you can see real success. A few weeks ago, we talked with my boy Tyrese on the show, and he actually shared with us how he plays Wordle. I kid you not, he plays Wordle on his computer every day for about 15 to 20 minutes. Well, actually, he probably plays for less than that. Because what's crazy is in a span of about 30 minutes to an hour, he actually creates 2 to 3 short form videos that he posts every single day. And now the truth is that he could batch all of it if he wants to, and sometimes he does that. But this man will play Wordle every single day, 2 to 3 times, and post 2 to 3 videos a day, and he has seen insane success over on TikTok. And after seeing that success on TikTok, he has now since started to repurpose that content to post it on YouTube as YouTube Shorts and to post it on Instagram. And the biggest thing that he had to overcome was the fear of starting something new. And I want to give you guys a little bit of encouragement because I had the exact same, fear as you guys, or as some of y'all might be having, in the fact that I was nervous about doing the same thing. So to put my money where my mouth is, I decided I'm going to be posting every day on Instagram for 30 days. That's what I basically decided. It was like November 17th-ish, somewhere around that time. And I was like, I'm just going to start posting every single day and just kind of see what happens. And I mentioned this at the start of the show, but I have already since seen my channel grow massively. I have seen my channels over on Instagram grow massively. Over 2,000 new followers just in the last 2 weeks. And I've already gotten 2 brand deals specifically for shooting short form content. One of which I've already posted, and I shot it on my iPhone. I'm not even kidding. So it's so crazy that you can actually see real growth just by creating content online. Now, 24-Hour Boss just asked, he says, when it comes to consistency, do you recommend we do more lives? Now, here's the thing about consistency. Doc says, absolutely. But my take on it is when it comes to consistency is really your own level and your own threshold when it comes to being consistent. That could be going live, twice a week. Maybe you're going live once a month right now. Maybe you go to once a week. If you're going once a week, maybe you try going twice a week. Or what consistency could also look like is taking the time to repurpose the content that you're already making and post that out. One of the things that on my main show, Uncensored, was that we had a show that was coming out every single Friday. We were very consistent. But I wanted the channel to grow. I just wanted the channel to grow. And so I wanted to be more consistent on the channel. Now, initially my thought was, let's go live more. But the truth is that Jarrell and I, our schedules, I run a video production business. He runs a video production business. It became very hard for us both to try to get together to do more live streams. So what I found was that for me, consistency meant showing up more. So what we started doing was we started using Opus to turn our long form podcasts into clips. So 60-second vertical clips or shorts. And then we started posting sections from the long form video into shorter videos. And that became our way of being more consistent. So now on our channel, we have videos that come out, I kid you not, every single day. But a majority of that content that comes out throughout the entire week is repurposed content from the previous Friday's episode. And what I have found is that not only one, does it allow us to grow the channel through those other elements, but our live streams have actually gotten better. And we've had more people showing up for those live streams because they find us through the repurposed content. And then that's basically marketing for the live show. Now, our show is best experienced live. I will never disagree with that. I think we actually build our show to be experienced live. But not everybody can always watch it live, and not everybody can always watch the full episode. And so by repurposing it, you give people another opportunity to connect with you, and it allows you to be more consistent. So that's sort of my take on consistency. But one thing I always say is that you do want to be consistent, but you never want to overstretch yourself, because while the easiest way to grow an audience or to grow a community is with consistency, the easiest way to lose an audience is with a lack of consistency. If you're just kind of showing up here and there, maybe posting, maybe not, you post and then you don't post 3 weeks, and then you post and then you don't post for 2 weeks, what you end up doing is you actually lose some of that built-in trust that you have with your audience. Now, I'm not saying don't take a break, because I do believe that you could absolutely take a break. But like, for example, we take a break every January on Uncensored. We normally don't do the show for 3 to 4 weeks. But what we do during that time period is we let our audience know that we're going to take that break. And then we come back and then we hit the ground running again, trying to staying consistent, going live every single Friday. Doc disagrees with me wholeheartedly. He says, nope, newbies need to buck up and make 100 long-form videos as fast as possible and learn from each post and build them skills, same as batting cages or driving range or a heavy bag. You know what, Doc? We can agree to disagree. I do think that you do want to try to get as much content out as quickly as you can, but I don't want you to get to a place where you don't want to create. So there's a line. Get as close to the line as you possibly can. At least that's my take. Andy says, if you have any questions for Brandon, please make sure to put the Q so he can find it. Yeah, by the way, did I miss any questions? If I missed questions, let me know. I might have missed it. But yeah, so that's sort of my take when it comes to it. Now, when it comes to creating your content online, another big thing that we learned was sort of, a take that I have been really running with over the last few weeks, and that is post like you don't know anything. This is sort of another one of my secrets going into this year. In the past, as a creator, I always thought that I knew what people wanted to see. But the truth is sometimes you don't know. You just flat out don't know. And so the ability to create content and learn and to grow and to put it out there and see has been such a game changer for me. One of the things that I have been doing over the last few videos is, put it out there and learn from it. But the goal isn't to grow. The goal is to put it out there. And it sort of has changed sort of my dynamic. We talked about this last week with Millie, but I think a lot of times when we are working on being creators, we are thinking about the outcome. Oh, I'm going to make a YouTube video. I'm going to post an Instagram reel, and I'm going to get, 10,000 views or 100,000 views, or I'm going to get to 1 million subscribers or whatever it might be. And for me, one of the things that I am taking into 2026 is I am no longer going to focus on the outcome, but I'm going to focus on the output. So what am I doing? Right now, I'm in a season of, posting every single day on Instagram. And then, I already know what my next goal is after those 30 days. After these first 30 days of putting out, content or whatever, I have another goal after those 30 days, which will change what my output goal is. And so focusing on your output allows you to sort of really focus on what you can control and less of what you can't control. Kofi says, I tried that method with 100 videos. Don't recommend for most people, but it worked for him. I'd 100% not do it again, though. Well, and here's the thing. When it comes to the 100 videos, that's sort of what we're talking about. And Doc and I, we sort of like, sort of agreeing on this in a weird way. But like, if your goal is to put out 100 videos, or in my case, it's a video a day, and then after these 30 days are up, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sort of shift. I'm still going to be posting every day, but I'm going to do a hard focus, especially on Instagram, on trial reels, and focus on posting trial reels. And so when you are focusing on your posting every day or posting a certain type of video, what you're doing is you're focusing on that output. And as Mr. Camera Junkie says, output equals income. And the reason why people say that is because a lot of times when you focus on the outcomes of the work that you put out, it's the easiest thing to get discouraged by. And surprisingly, so much of it is out of your hands. For example, every year we do an episode the day after Thanksgiving for our show, because our show is always on Friday, so we never miss a Friday. And just naturally, Friday after Thanksgiving is always one of our lowest viewed episodes. Now, I could take that a lot of different ways. I could be like, oh, people just don't like the title, people just don't like the thumbnail. But the truth is that it's a Friday after Thanksgiving. People are sleeping in. People are spending time with the family. They might be out shopping. Like, people have things to do. It's not a typical Friday. So while I could try to judge the outcome of an episode, the truth is that we put out an episode. And that was the goal. The goal is the output. So by focusing on your output, when you do the thing that you say you want to do, you actually change your relationship with the dopamine that goes off in your brain and the feeling that you get from creating the content. It goes to, oh, I did the thing, which will inspire you the next day to do the thing again, versus I got the outcome that I was looking for. Because if you don't get it, that can actually discourage you from wanting to continue to create. So you definitely want to watch out for that. And that's sort of my little tip. Trevor says output, #output over outcome, 100%. Let's see, what else we get coming in? I'm trying to read through the chats real quick. Doc says, for the new kids, I just still doing 401 days of longer videos every day, and I ain't busting. Well, Doc, you know what? Everybody ain't you, Doc. And let's see, Kofi, what did you put in there? He says, not really. I just have a little sticky note on my laptop and start talking. Yeah. So when it comes to the content, this is the one thing I will say: when your goal is output, I think one of the big things that you should definitely be helping yourself with is setting a sort of, not necessarily like the video has to be of this quality, but more so giving yourself a deadline to get the video out. This is one of the things that I love about live streaming. And one of the reasons why, today I recommend most people start with a podcast or a live stream, or posting a short form video with your phone or whatever every single day. And that is because giving yourself a deadline is so valuable. And so if you say, I'm going to go live every single Monday at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., like we do with this show, it forces you to be able to meet that demand of going live. And the same thing with posting, a short form video every single day, is it forces you to say that today I am going to post a video. No questions. And before you go to bed, you got to make something. You got to put something out. It is super helpful to put a deadline on yourself when it comes to your output. Because if you just tell yourself, oh, I want to put out a video, you can always give yourself excuses not to put that video out. But if you can give yourself a hard and fast deadline based off of what you want your output goal to be, it's going to allow you to help you to achieve that goal. So I 100% am here for each and every person who is trying to change that relationship they have with their content going into next year. I'd love to hear what output goals you guys are thinking through right now. Go ahead and put them in the chat, because I think that when it comes to setting goals and sort of forecasting what you're going to do going into the next year, or forecasting what you're doing just in the next season of your life, one of the things that is absolutely crucial is that you find a small group of people who can hold you accountable. Currently, my boy Marcus and we've been posting on Instagram regularly, and we've been doing a few things to help each other. One, whenever we post, we send it to the other person, so that way they know that they got their post out for the day. But then the other thing that we do is, now recently we've been meeting up together on Saturday mornings, and we will go out and create content to sort of help ourselves for the following week. And by having that person to sort of assist you in being consistent, it's going to allow you to be more successful. And so giving yourself a partner to go through the process with is going to be super helpful. And I think in this stream, you could probably easily find somebody who's willing to help you along the way. Yeah, he says, also a lot of times what you're telling others is what you really need to hear, and I needed to hear this. Yeah, and it's so funny that a lot of times it's really easy to give other people advice on what they want to do, or what they should be doing. And so one thing that I like to do, and this is something that you guys can totally use AI for, like I've done it, is I have used ChatGPT, and I think Doc recommends doing this with Claude. I think I've heard him talk about this before, is use an AI tool to analyze your social media, and to tell you what is currently working and what is currently not working, and put that into practice and sort of do a self-audit. Because I think a lot of times it's really easy to look at what other people are doing. It's really hard to do that for yourself. Doc says, yep, that deadline helps a lot, and to maximize effective range of excuses to 0 feet. Yeah, like the truth is that like when you have a hard and fast deadline, and especially when other people know about it, it becomes really hard to miss. Like yesterday, I really did not want to post. I had a really long day. I had sort of convinced myself it's a Sunday. Posts don't really do that well on Sundays anyway. I could just miss one day. But I knew that I had told people I was going to do it. So I was like, no, we got to get the post out. Let's get the post out. Eddie says, I'm looking to use my Insta360 on top of the camera to showcase my photos through Reels. I think that's a beautiful idea, Eddie. Honestly, like I've been using my iPhone because I was going to use a 360 camera like what you were talking about, but I learned for me that getting the footage off the 360 camera was such a workflow process, and it slowed me down, that I just decided to just go with my phone. So if you guys have seen on my Instagram account lately, I've been posting a lot of videos showcasing the Nikon ZR with Sony lenses, showing how the autofocus works. All the shots of the back of the camera are all shot with my iPhone, because that was just the easiest thing that allowed me to get the work done. Kofi says, I just got my Action 6 to film more content that I my iPhone when I can't set up. I think he says he might just use his iPhone when he can't set up his camera. It's a game changer, and that's it. Using your phone, surprisingly, goes a really long way. Next session says, don't laugh. My goal is to sell my T7i that I no longer need for real though. Bro, no one's laughing at that. If your goal is to sell your camera to get something new, you're in the right company. We're never gonna dog you. None of us have any room to talk about. We're all a bunch of over obsessed camera gear nerds anyway. King Kirk says, I'm filming my first project with Anamorphic before the year's end. Get after it, man. Let's see. King Kirk says, first part, what do you do to set up all the stories in your life you've been living in? What? First part, King at oh, he's talking at King Kirk. Okay. Um, can the phone offer a 360 feature? No, definitely not. So, but yeah, so I absolutely love utilizing utilizing the iPhone to create the content, and ultimately that's what you want to do. The goal is just to get out there and keep posting. Okay, so another big strategy that I have for this year, and this is one that I want to encourage a lot of you guys for, is sort of start thinking through your repurposing strategy. You know, we talked with Tyrese a few weeks ago, and he was talking about repurposing, and this is sort of like the hack that I think is going to help a lot. Millie also does this really, really well. So if you guys missed last week's episode, Millie was talking about this. And this is something I want to figure out. I kind of am doing the reverse of this right now, but I want to see if there's a way I can make it go even further. But Millie's strategy when it comes to repurposing isn't just like what we do on Uncensored, which is take your long form video and cut it up into shorter forms. But what she's been doing is she's been taking her long form videos and then basically transcribing those scripts, and from there seeing if there's a way to create 2 to 3 Instagram Reels, TikToks, and YouTube Shorts that are shot for those platforms. So not just a straight repurpose, but just another way of teaching the same concept. When you do that, you open yourself up to being able to repurpose the things that you've already studied and researched, and then you were able to actually do it. And what I love about being able to do that, for me personally, is it's sort of, I mean, one thing I always used to think was like, oh, the people who watch my content, they're the same people who watch me on Instagram, same people who watch me on TikTok. So like, you know, there's no point in resharing the stuff. But the truth is that a lot of times some people will only watch you on one platform or another. And so you might have people who are only watching you on Instagram. And so you might be teaching something or showcasing something really amazing on YouTube, and the people on Instagram never ever actually see it. And so figuring out ways to repurpose your content, I think is going to help a lot. Now, Streamed by Chris asks, when is the new Ecamm beta with dual vertical and horizontal stream coming? You know what? I don't know. But the day that it comes, you're going to know that, because I'm going to be screaming it from the rooftop. So hopefully one day that does show up really soon, because then I feel like when it comes to, like we've been talking about repurposing, it's going to unlock repurposing live, but while live. So now you can have a vertical live stream and a horizontal live stream at the same time. Now, YouTube did implement that already in the back end of your YouTube streams. It's not quite the same, at least as of right now, because it's literally just taking out the vertical portion of the stream. So it's not perfect, but you kind of can do that within YouTube. But hopefully, you know, Ecamm will release some form of, you know, beta for that soon. I don't know. Hopefully soon. I'm right there with you. I'd love to see that. All right. So when it comes to streaming this year, I'd love to know: is there anybody in the chat right now who has big goals this year for streaming personally? I'll tell you guys one of my big goals this year for streaming. It's something that I've been. Doc says, I know. Yeah. Are you gonna tell us though, Doc? Are you gonna tell us? I don't think he's gonna tell us. I would love to hear from our streamers in the chat right now. What are some of your goals for streaming this year? For me, I know last year we started working on IRL streams, and we did quite a few of them, and they were a lot of fun. We did them at all the trade shows. And I know this year we're going to go and we're going to do them at all the different trade shows again. But I want to do more of those this year. I want to do more IRL streams and bring people on the journey of us doing just really cool stuff as we do it in real time. So that's something that I know that I personally would love to figure out how to do this year, is how to do more IRL streams and take the streaming sort of out and about and sort of get us to that place where, you know, no matter what it is that we're doing, we can bring people along for that journey. Mike says, my big goal this year, grow the channel to over 1,000 subs. I love that goal of getting to that first 1,000 subs. There is something special about definitely getting to that first 1,000 subs. And I absolutely think you can get there. So yeah, man, keep at it. Uh, if you don't have a big goal, make one immediately. Have it to be the reason why you wake up and get out of bed. I always think that when it comes to, to goal setting, that you should have a goal that is almost it's almost so big that it kind of scares you. Because while it may not be something that you're going to achieve in like a day or a week or even a month, um, it gives you a little bit direction of where you're going to go. I know I've had a couple big goals in my journey. One of the big ones was when I was working at, my full-time job at Apple, 10 plus years ago or 10 years ago at this point. And like the big goal was to quit my full-time job to just do video production. And then my goal was to grow a YouTube channel and then to get to 1,000 subs. And then a big goal ultimately became to get to 100,000 subs. And while, hitting those goals is so crucial, now with like the Creative Fam Live channel, I have a goal for next year to get that channel to 10,000 followers. And not because I feel like 10,000 followers really like that number or that metric really matters as much, but like I feel like when you have those type of goals, it allows you to mentally get into the space that we were talking about earlier. While I don't care about the outcome, when the goal is there, it allows me to figure out what output I would need to do in order to achieve said goal. And so now I can be in the mindset of posting consistently with the goal of being able to achieve that number. And so with the goal of trying to grow a channel to 100 subs, I think that is a fantastic goal. And so it allows you to start asking yourself, if my channel was at 1,000 subs, what type of output would I be doing to be able to get myself there? Kofi says, I'm trying to just do them on Wednesdays. I love that, Kofi. Just getting consistent, posting your stream every single Wednesday or doing a stream every single Wednesday. That's such a good idea. He says, how can I do an IRL stream with Ecamm? Would I have to build a kit? Oh, I don't know whose kit that is. I'd love to check that out. Doing an IRL stream with Ecamm. I'm gonna have to check out that stream and see how they built that. Doc, if you know that one, if you can send me that one, I'd love to check out that one. I know that we've done. It wasn't like necessarily like an IRL stream with Ecamm, but we just did it off a laptop and we were doing it kind of like out and about. But having like a Mac, you could totally do that. And then I'm sure one way you could also do it is just like zoom in from like a phone. Actually, I think that's what Doc just said. Yes, you can rock a stationary Mac and use a phone on a Zoom, and then you can walk around. Yeah, that's basically what I was about to say. So yeah, you could absolutely do an IRL stream with Ecamm utilizing that function. So that'd be one way that you could pull that off. He's an engineer that makes beats and walks around. Oh, you know what? I think I've seen him. And he has random people walk up and rap on those beats. I've definitely seen that guy. His rig is massive. I don't know if I want to have all that on me, but his stuff is pretty sick. Doc says, did several IRL streams at the Pokemon convention this year. Light work if you got the kit. Well, Doc, I got the kit, so send me over the details. We'll figure out how to make that work. He says, being inspired setups, the quality of your actions. Human beings are in a dance with the way the world shows up to us. Dude, that's so awesome. And then, yes, sir, that's him. Yeah, I seen that guy. That dude is sick. That guy, his stuff is absolutely amazing. But like, he's one of those people who, I know he streams on Twitch, right? But I typically come across his clips on Instagram and on YouTube Shorts. So like, that's one of those things where it's like, that's why I think it's so important that we are utilizing all of the platforms we can within our ability to get our streams out there so that way people can find us and then ultimately do consume us on our streams when we go live. So I think that's like a perfect example right there, something that you were asking about earlier. How do we stay consistent, or what does consistency look like? I think consistently can just literally look like making sure that you're posting your content across all of the different platforms equally, and trying to post as consistently as you can across all the different platforms. And I know there are like reposting apps that can actually do it for you. Tyrese was actually talking about one. But by utilizing these platforms, you basically get yourself to a place where you can post to one platform and then it'll automatically repurpose your content across all the other platforms, especially if you don't have the time to do it. Now, most of those obviously cost a little bit, but if you are at a place where you're trying to grow and you want to invest, that's a great way to invest some of your money. If it saves you a lot of time, it allows you to show up consistently like you're looking for. All right, so we are currently getting to about that time where we're about to get ready to give away a Shure microphone. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this stream that we're going to be giving away a microphone based off of your engagement. I do want to open up the floor for a moment for any questions that you guys have about streaming, about the next year, about what we've learned about over this last year, about growing and building a new community. That's actually one of the things that I have lined up for me this next year is I have learned that through Uncensored, through Ecamm fam, and, through just like, as some of you guys know, my stuff got stolen. Like, this community and having a strong community around you can be such a blessing and can absolutely pick you up when you need it most. And so this next year, the goal, I would say, for me, more than anything, is to continue to grow and build a community and to connect with this community more than ever. And so one of the things I want to do is start doing in-person events. Again, we did one of those a while back, and we had such a great time. We just haven't had the ability to run it back. But now, more than ever, we definitely want to run those back. Kofi was actually at one of our in-person events. And so our goal is to start doing more of those as we continue to build up this community. Eddie says, any pitfalls we should look out for? I think the biggest pitfall as a creator you can look out for is not like over-analyzing, the metrics. I definitely went through a season, especially over on YouTube, where I was over-analyzing everything. I was looking at, click-through rate, retention, like all these. And while all of them are positive, at the end of the day, you're creating for people. And so while, yes, utilize the data to assist, never forget that you're creating for people. And I think if you can do that, that'll help out a lot. So that's one of the biggest pitfalls that I think I personally ran into. What's the biggest takeaway you got from running Launchpad, like the thing you never expected to learn in the process? I think the thing I took away the most, especially talking through all the different creators, is how they figured out how to create content in a way that, how do I put this? Like, because I don't want to sound like you're not trying, but it is structure your content around an easier pipeline to produce. So for example, Tyrese, he sits down for like 30 minutes and can create 3 pieces of content for the day. That to me just like blows my mind, because I'm used to spending hours to create a single piece of content. Or like Millie, she makes a YouTube video, and then from that same YouTube video, she'll utilize AI and, in order to help her create 3 more pieces of content for Instagram. So she's not having to come up with fresh ideas every single time and reutilize that, and how that content still works and that it's available and it's accessible for their audience. And like, to me, I realized really quick, oh man, like sometimes I think we're overdoing it. We're making things too difficult on ourselves. And so that's why I sort of challenged myself with this posting every day for 30 days. Like, worst case scenario, just use your iPhone. Don't try to set up a camera and do a fancy edit and all those things. Like, just start with your phone and just focus on what value are you sharing and not the quality of the edit and the camera and the lighting and all those things. Like, there are points, there's obviously, there's a reason for those things, but think about the value of what you're actually offering first. And then try to simplify your creation process to make it easier on yourself. And then you can post those things and then learn from them, because you'll learn more from doing than you will from just, consuming a bunch of content online about the doing. Great question. What did he say? Doc said, good question. The answer is he got to hang out with us at camp. I mean, that's not my biggest takeaway. We did, obviously hanging out with us at camp, y'all at camp was awesome. But that was before the show started. Just create. Don't worry about the numbers. Absolutely love that. Caribbean. Oh my gosh, that'd be so dope if we did. If we went to the Caribbean, I would love to do a tour. I don't know how we set that up, but I would absolutely love to do that tour. He says, even for the camera niche, yes, even for the camera niche. I'm telling you right now, you don't have, there is a time to make everything all nice and fancy and all that stuff. But the truth is that, after the first 5 seconds, nobody cares about your lighting. Nobody cares about all those crazy things. Now, if you're testing a camera, yeah, obviously at that point you want it to be, that's where you definitely need to showcase what the camera can do. But when it comes to creating the content, I think for me right now it's more about focusing on what value do I actually have to offer outside of what the camera is just showing. Because people like to learn from real people. Because the basic stuff, we all know, you can go into ChatGPT and ask it, or you can go to Google and Gemini will give you the answer. So people want to learn from people. People want to connect with people. And so that's the reason why they're consuming your video. And so whatever allows you to show up authentically and consistently, I think that's where you start. And then over time, you can absolutely improve the quality and the lighting and the cameras and all that stuff if you want to. But I found for me, because of my schedule and how busy I am, that kind of stuff slows me down. And if you're trying to figure it out, or you're trying to see is this really work? I would say go look over on my Instagram and you'll see that a majority of the videos that I've been posting have been mostly shot on my camera, on my phone, front-facing camera. And it's me talking about my cameras, talking about what I'm going through, talking about the rigs, whatever it is that I'm doing. And those videos have been working absolutely amazingly. So just a thought there. Hey, what's up? Thank you for joining us tonight. All right. And yeah, Doc says, yeah, exactly. Exactly for the camera niche. Yeah, 100%. You do not have to go crazy even in the camera space. People helping people. That's literally what it's all about. That's it. That's what it's all about. This is going to sound weird. If you make a mistake, love it. The act of loving it will set up the quality of your next action. Acting out of things are okay. Acting out of things are okay. Yeah, I will tell you, content. I don't think you need the content to be perfect. Because I think I said this with, it might have been Millie last week. But when it comes to, your content online, people connect with people that they can see themselves in. And I don't know anybody who is perfect. I don't. And the people who think they're perfect, or people who try to act like they're perfect, 9 times out of 10, those people are kind of obnoxious. I don't know if y'all experience the same thing, but I definitely do. And so when you try to act perfect online, you act like one of those type of people, because we're not perfect. And so I think that's why having content that is, a little flawed and, shows your true self, your nerdy self, whether you love cameras or you love Dragon Ball Z, like I obviously do, show those parts of yourself that other people might not gravitate to. But when you do that, you'll connect with way more people in the long run. So that's sort of my take. But it is time now. It is time for us to give away a microphone. Now, I put this into the description. Let me go ahead and grab that really quick. Because with this being our season finale, we are so lucky that Shure was nice enough to give us a microphone to give away tonight. And I just want to make sure I'm clear about the one that we are giving away. Let's go ahead and hit this real quick. All right, and just so you guys know, whoever wins this does have to be here. You have to be here live. You have to accept it. So just a heads up. If I call out a name, I'm going to need you to respond. So if you're just listening right now, or you have it on another screen or something like that, you might want to go ahead and pull your phone out of your pocket, get to your laptop, so that way once you win, you can throw it in the chat. So let me go ahead and find this deal. We're going to do a random drawing here. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so the microphone that we are giving away is going to be the Shure MV7 Plus. This is the Shure MV7 Plus. All right. Let me see here. Boom. I'm pre-responding. Dave says I'm pre-responding. All right, let's go in. Check this here. All right, so the MV7 Plus is a podcast style microphone. It's like the one that you see in the thumbnail. Fantastic for podcasts. It's sort of like the SM7B, sort of the little brother to the SM7, the SM7B. It sort of allows you to do something similar to this, but it also has USB on it, which is really nice. So if you want to be able to hook it up directly to your computer, you can. As you guys can see, for my SM7DB here, I actually have to plug it into this Shure adapter that goes XLR into USB-C. That one, you don't need it. So it's all nice. It's already built in. It's a fantastic little mic. I will let you guys know Doc is not eligible to win this thing. So our winner is... Press the button, let it do its thing. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we have our winner. I just don't like the comment that it chose. But our lucky winner for the episode is Mike at Generator Podcast. I don't like the fact that it says Doc Rock Facts because I don't like giving Doc any credit. But this comment did get us a winner for the night. So shout out to the Generator Podcast. Doc is not the winner. But shout out to Generator Podcast. You are a lucky winner of the podcast microphone. This Shure microphone is going to be absolutely amazing. Congratulations adding this to your arsenal. Hopefully you find this super helpful. I will say that in order to win, Doc put the email in there earlier at the start of the show. Let me see what that email address is. What's the email address? I think it's marketing@Ecamm. So, congratulations on winning your microphone. Oh, yeah, he just responded. Thanks, man. That's amazing. Yes, you win that one. So, congratulations. You're going to get this microphone. We'll get that shipped out to you pretty soon. As a big part of Ecamm fam, kind of already know what to do. Doc said just email marketing. So, marketing@ecamm.com so we can get that sent out directly to you. So, congratulations. Guys, I do want to say before, as we get ready to wrap up this episode, we are all about to walk into 2026. It's going to be one of those years of ups and downs no matter what, right? But the one thing we can do is we can focus on what we can control. And so I just want to encourage you guys to, if I was going to give myself a mantra going into 2026, is focus on the outputs, not the outcomes. And so that's the thing that I'm going to encourage you guys this next year, is to focus on those outputs, not the outcomes. And I think the outcomes will be beyond your wildest dreams. He says, I am, they say it's only fair that you won the microphone as you make reviews on my content. So, but everybody loves Sure Mic giveaways. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, enjoying the Launchpad. It has been an amazing season. Hopefully one day we'll run something like this back again. We'll talk to some amazing creators, continue to learn, to continue to grow. You guys put your goals in the chat, so let's all hold each other accountable. Find a friend in the chat. Doc says, I'm gonna beat the brakes off of 2026 like it stole something. Like it stole, that's my goal, Doc. I'm gonna beat the brakes off of 2026 like it stole $100,000 worth of equipment out of my car. If you know, you know. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. The Launchpad has been an amazing show. It's been great. You guys have been great. And I can't wait to hang out with you guys again soon. If you guys are down, hopefully I'll see you guys over on our channel, on the Uncensored channel, Creative Fam Live. Link down below in the description. If you happen to miss the first part of the show and you're ready to watch it right now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. When this one ends, it'll automatically take you over to that one. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight, and enjoy the rest of your night and crush 2026. Peace out, guys.
Stations. This is launch control. Crew is locked and ready. Stand by for terminal count. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition confirmed. We are go for launch. We have liftoff.